Hi, it's Kelly with CitrusCycles.ca. I'm here at Eurobike checking out the new Riesenmüller models. Super excited to be here with the SuperCharger2. I'm going to do an in-depth video review, including a ride test when this arrives in the store, but for now I thought I'd give you a quick overview and take you on a short ride test of the exciting new SuperCharger2. You can find all the details on our website at CitrusCycles.ca. There you can find all of the pricing, the options. You can configure one yourself to be built in Germany. You can also find our contact information should you want to reach out to us to schedule an appointment to try it out or to ask us any questions you might have about the bike. So in this short video, I'll go over all the details and take you on a ride test. So like all Riesenmüller e-bikes, they are custom made here in Germany. And with the SuperCharger2, R&M is now using the new Bosch Gen 4 CX drive unit. You can see it over there and on the side here. And with the new drive unit, this is the CX drive, so it gives you the highest torque, 75 Newton meters of torque. That's the same as the previous generation, but with this new generation, it does provide more assistance in the higher levels of assistance. So in the past, we would get 300% support in turbo. Now you get 340%, and of course, the rest of the levels also give you more assistance as well. The new drive unit is 50% smaller. You can see it's really nestled well into the frame here. Also on the other side there, it's 25% lighter as well. With the new drive unit, they're now using a full-size chainring. In the past, they had a gearing reduction mechanism and a smaller chainring. Of course, in this case, we actually have a built ring rather than a chainring, but it is a full-sized one. That allowed them to remove the gear reduction mechanism, and that means that when you choose to ride with the assistance off, or you exceed that 32 km/h maximum speed, there's essentially no resistance or drag for the motor. It just rides like a regular bike. The other interesting thing about the CX drive is, in addition to getting the highest torque from Bosch, you also get the EMTB mode, which has been updated for the Gen 4 motor here. It's even more responsive, very natural feeling. Basically, it automatically adjusts the assistance for you based on your pedaling and what you expect from the bike, and it's very responsive, a really fun way to ride the bike. Of course, you can change that to sport mode if you wish, but having that EMTB is a pretty fantastic option. With the SuperCharger, we do have dual integrated 500 watt-hour power tube batteries from Bosch. It's a beautiful integration. You can see there's kind of a rubberized cover here, and you can then remove the battery from the frame. Of course, you need the key to do that. We do have dual batteries, so kilowatt-hour of power. And really that gives you tremendous range. Bosch does have a new 630 watt-hour power tube battery, but Riesenmüller decided to stick with the 500. And I imagine that with the two batteries, kilowatt-hour is more than enough. And it also allows them to do some nice options with the frame design. That 630 battery is quite a bit longer. So we do have two color options. We have this beautiful curry matte color over here, and we also can get this in the what they call a warm silver matte, and it's also very nice. I love the curry. I like bright colored bikes. In fact, my very first R&M was a Charger of that color, so it's a really nice color option. And we've got, of course, 3 different sizes as well. So the Charger comes with the Schwalbe Supermoto X 2.4-inch wide tires. These are great tire. We've got these kind of more basic pedals on here, and Ergon GP1 grips. If you go with the GX option, which is really exciting, you can do that on any of the models. You can change to the GX option. That's going to give you these really knobby rock razor tires here. They still have a fairly low rolling resistance because of the smaller center knobs here, which is great. It also upgrades you to these VP pedals. Really like the pedals having the knobs here so your foot doesn't slide off in the rain. Much wider contact area, which is great. It also upgrades you to the GP3 Ergon grips, so they've got the regular ergonomic grips, but the bar end as well, which gives you another riding position that can really help open up your upper body and especially your shoulders on longer rides. Another optional feature is this front rack. It's quite a sturdy rack. It is rated only at 5 kilos, but you can see it's very sturdy. We've even got mounting points here for straps, and underneath here there's some threaded see if I can find it there. There we go. Threaded attachment points. It's really sturdy. It's attached to the frame here in 4 different places. So that means it's not going to move when you steer the bike. That's a good thing. It can be a little disconcerting at first because that doesn't move when you turn, but it also means it won't affect the handling of the bike. If this did turn when you steer, then of course the load of whatever you've got on here is going to move as you steer, and that can throw off your balance and affect the handling of the bike. By mounting it here on the frame, it's not going to move, it's not going to impact on the handling. We still have the ability to mount a water bottle, and it looks like now, yes, the SuperCharger allows you to have 2 water bottles mounted. One of my favorite features of the bike, it's a cageless design. It just clips and hangs onto the frame there, and so you can do that even if you do add that optional rack. There are 3 different models of the SuperCharger. We've got the touring model here, gives you the traditional chain, cassette, and derailleur. It's a Shimano Dior XT, which is a really nice high-end drivetrain. Shifting is really smooth, very responsive. We've got the one-way clutch on there, which is great. We've got an upgraded cassette here with a 42-tooth cassette, which is going to give you tremendous range for climbing really steep hills. That's a nice new addition as well. In addition to the touring model, which gives you the chain, cassette, and derailleur, you can move up to the Vario, which gives you a continuously variable transmission and a Gates carbon belt, or the model we're looking at here, which is the roll-off speed hub with electronic shifting, 14 specific gears, massive 520% gear ratio, and again, the Gates carbon belt with a little belt guide up at the top there, which is great. I love having the Gates belt. I ride every day, all year, including in the pouring rain. When I've got a belt, I don't have to worry about maintaining it. I don't have to worry about or feel guilty that I didn't clean my chain and cassette and derailleur. So with the belt, there's very, very little maintenance. And then with this internally geared hub, whether it's a roll-off or NVOLO hub on the Vario model, you can shift while you're stopped. Very little maintenance. The roll-off does require an annual oil change, but the Vario has no maintenance requirement. No adjustments. Don't have to worry about your chain falling off or things going out of adjustment. It just works. And of course, it's a little bit more expensive up front, but your cost of ownership is lower because the roll-off hub and the NVOLO hub, they won't need to be replaced. Whereas on the touring model, your chain, cassette, and derailleur, of course, are standard wear items, so you're going to need to replace those over time. There's a few other upgrades that I'm super excited about to come on the SuperCharger. We've got the Supernova M99 mini light. It's incredibly bright light. There's a high beam setting, and on the high beam, it's 1250 lumens, which is quite incredible. We've also upgraded the brakes. These are a Magura MT5. It's a quad piston brake system, which is really nice. Lots of stopping power on the front. And we now have integrated tail lights, so when you pull either of the brake levers, the lights are going to get brighter. They're visible at almost a kilometer. So lots of nice options. We've got a redesigned rack. We've now got MIK compatibility as well, which is great. Lots of really nice features on this bike. For all of the details, head over to our website at citruscycles.ca. One other option I forgot to mention is we do have the standard Intuvia display, or you can upgrade to the smartphone hub or kiosk display. When you go with the smartphone hub or the kiosk, now they've gone with a adjustable angle on the stem there, so you can actually loosen those bolts off and adjust the angle, which is really great. You can make it a little bit more comfortable. I will have in-depth video reviews of the kiosk, which is a magnetically mounted, Bluetooth-enabled color display, or I'll also have a video of the smartphone hub, which allows you to use your smartphone to control the bike and your bike to control the smartphone, which is really quite clever. And of course, one of the nice things about the smartphone hub is there is a little display integrated into it there. So even if you don't have your phone installed or attached to the bike, you can actually still ride the bike and see all the important data on that. Well, it's really fun to be back on the SuperCharger. This is the SuperCharger2. I say that because my first R&M e-bike was the original Charger in the same beautiful query color. You can see that in the video here. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking bike, the matte curry. Of course, lots has changed since that first Charger that I had. This is the SuperCharger2, and we've got the new Bosch CX Gen 4 drive on there. Really enjoying it. It's interesting. I'm riding the Euro spec version here, so it stops assisting at 25 kilometers an hour. Really thankful we've got the 32 in Canada. When I exceed that 25, the assistance kind of fades out, and I really don't notice that much drag at all from the motor. So that's something that's an improvement over previous generations of the motor. And on this bike, I'm in Sport right now, I definitely notice a different pitch from the motor than previous generations. So I'm hearing that a little bit, perhaps a little bit of a higher whine. As I head through the tunnel here, it looks like the light has brightened. Very comfortable riding position. We've got a little bit of sweep in the bars here. We've got these ergonomic grips, which are fantastic to have. So I'm kind of in a partially upright position for comfort, but still forward enough that I can really handle the get a lot of control over the bike in difficult riding circumstances or trails. Riding the NVLO version, or the Vario with the NVLO continuously variable transmission by New Vinci. It's really nice being able to just dial in exactly where you want that cadence to be. Very responsive brakes, which is what you'd expect. These Magura brakes. Got the MT5 up front, so lots and lots of stopping power. MT4 on the back. Again, I'm now exceeding that top speed limit, and it just cruises along really well. It's a relatively heavy bike because we've got 2 batteries in there. Gives us tremendous range, but I'm not noticing the weight as I cruise along without the assistance here. Supermoto tires doing great on the gravel here. Quick stock test. Lots of traction for stocking, no problems there. Alright, well, I'll do an in-depth video review on some of my own trails once I get the bike in Canada, and you'll find all of the details, including a much more in-depth video review, much longer ride test on more varied terrain over on our website at citruscycles.ca. You could definitely do a bit of light mountain biking with the Supercharger here. We do have a really nice front suspension fork. We've got the thud buster out back there to help, but you may want to use your legs as suspension for really rough stuff. Or look at the D-Lite if you're doing a lot of mountain biking. And we'll just turn around and do that bit of a hill here. And with the new CX drive, we're not getting more torque for the hills, but we are getting more power in turbo. So I'm going to start from almost a standstill, put it into an easy gear, and no problem climbing right up. But you do hear a little bit of that drive noise there. That's the sound of the bike helping up those massive hills. It's great to have.